So I'm curious, like at the very beginning, right, from identifying who could be our partners, is there any like frameworks or mental models? Do you do like a big brainstorming on like horizontal, vertical, or like how do you actually identify who can be the partners, and how do you prioritize who to work with?
Yeah, so I'll give you an example from an earlier stage company in my career. So most recently I was over at Synctera, and I'll kind of walk you through my process as a core product marketer for identifying that. But companies can do all kinds of different things. It just depends which of the teams ends up leading it. And of course, as a marketer, and for all the marketers that are listening, I would encourage every product marketer to go through this exercise. And as they're leading the go-to-market strategy, really to think about partner marketing as their very high leveraged channel for really efficient and effective user growth. So at Synctera, when I came in, what I did was spend a lot of hours listening to gong calls. Of course, you want to understand what your sales team is doing, how they're selling your product, and what comes up. And then what I did was, as I was thinking about the ecosystem, and Synctera is a platform for embedded banking. Essentially, they're kind of a layer, an API layer on which companies can build either additional products. They can offer banking, including checking accounts and charge cards and such, or they can enable net new companies to build, a credit card or a banking system on top of their API. But essentially, listening through the gong calls, I started to type in all the different keywords in the ecosystem that I could think about in the financial ecosystem. And when I typed in payroll, and of course, given the example I just gave you earlier, I came from that background and worked a lot with Gusto and Intuit. When I typed in payroll, I noticed that it came up a lot in all the different gong conversations. What happened was quite a few prospects that would come into the Synctera pipeline would say, hey, I'm thinking about building banking and payroll products. Do you guys offer both of those? And Synctera didn't. Synctera focused on banking, and rightfully so, because banking alone is something really hard to offer. Financial products are really deep, and as they should be, because you're dealing with people's money. But Gusto does offer embedded banking. There are a couple of other companies as well. So as I was seeing payroll pop up in the customer consideration set, I went to the Gusto embedded team and said, hey guys, can we partner together and just to start the partnership, can we partner together on an event or a white paper or something? And compliance is really a hot button topic in the industry of fintech, as it should be, because we're dealing with people's money, and we want to make sure we're compliant. So we agreed to actually do an event and showcase how you build for compliance all the different financial products. For Synctera, as an earlier stage company, this was a really big opportunity because, Synctera as a company is not well known, but Gusto is an established brand. And so in a sense, that situation allows the co-marketing of that allows for Synctera to lift their brand up and to be associated with Gusto and to talk about things that are really important in the industry. So that's an example of partner marketing at early stages. Generally, a larger company will not jump into a deep API integration with a smaller company to start. They'll want to test the waters. They'll want to see like, hey, can we do an event together? Let's see how that goes. Does a smaller company bring what they want to the table? Are they buttoned up? Can they execute? Can they deliver the content? In the case of Guideline, Intuit and the experience that I described also didn't happen overnight. They ran a pilot for about a year, looked at how well those API integrations are doing, looked at customer NPS scores, looked at how Guideline was servicing those customers, saw that everything was great, and then continued negotiation with the strategic partnership team and eventually signed a contract to then leverage that partnership and all that API and everything that was built to their entire audience, segment by segment, because of course they're a much larger company and they want to kind of like test and roll things out.